Hi, friends. Hi, friends. I am glad you're joining me now or on the replay. I hope you're well. I hope you are healthy and happy. And if you are one of our friends from the southern United States, I hope you have dug yourself out by now from all that snow you guys got. So today I am talking about straight tone. This is the straight dope way to have a title for you. Straight dope on straight tone. Now, I have to be honest. I kind of thought that this conversation was not one we are still having in the vocal pedagogy world. But I found myself going down the internet rabbit hole this week. You know how that is. Don't say you don't. And it turns out there are a lot of singers and voice teachers who have been warned off of straight tone, both singing it and teaching it. It has been communicated to them that straight tone is potentially dangerous to vocal health. Now, honestly, if you have even a little bit of this belief bouncing around in your head, then there is no way you're going to teach anything but a nice flow vibrato, because you, being the little love muffin that you are, you value the vocal health of your students before anything else. If you're an independent voice teacher, though, or you're teaching music theater at a college, this presents you with a certain disconnect. You want to teach your students really healthy technique, and they want to sing or are singing with straight tone, styles that require straight tone, right? You can't sing contemporary music theater with too much vibrato, as you well know. If you have students singing pop and you tell them that they have to sing everything with vibrato, they will not stay in your studio very long because they know that that is not what they want. So I hope you're here because you want me to convince you that you can help your students to be the artists they envision themselves to be and keep their voices healthy. I hope you're here to learn a little bit more about singing with straight tone and get some tips about teaching it in a healthy way. I'm Meredith Colby, and I help voice teachers create confident teaching and singing of contemporary styles. I'm the author of Money Notes, which introduces neurovocal method, a way to create healthy singing for microphone music that is based on brain science. You can find me right here on Facebook every Monday. Kind of like I Love Lucy, we're just going live to camera. My site is meredithcolby.com, where you can buy my book, read my blog, watch my videos, and sign up for private sessions with me if you want. You can also see this very fancy new page that my assistant Jay made for me. It's beautiful. It has we're working on all of the neurovocal method certified teachers on there, looking cute and bragging on themselves, which I love, as you might imagine. Oh, I was supposed to do this when I did that, but I didn't because I forgot. So I will remember to do this. Thanks for being here with me today. I have to do this part because this is Facebook after all. So on the replay here today, I love that you're here with me. I hope you will contribute your thoughts, your questions, takeaways, experiences. I will see it after the broadcast too, so feel free to add it in there as though we are together now. I love getting your comments and your questions, and I will get back to you. I promise. Even if you comment after the broadcast, I will get back to you. Also, please like my page. It helps me. Any way you interact with me helps me as far as Facebook is concerned. I think you guys know that. If you give me hearts, you give me thumbs, you like my page, you make a comment, all that stuff. Facebook loves that. So it does help me out when you do that. So I appreciate it. Now, oh, there's a thumb. Somebody's here. Yay. Okay. my freebie today is a download of a nifty little PDF I made for you called Your Studio Mic Setup. We're talking about straight tone today, and since straight tone is used in every microphone music style, I thought you might like this. You may not have explored or helped your students explore having a microphone set up personally for them. Hi, Elspeth. But when you start teaching in person again, if you are teaching any contemporary styles, you may want this. The microphone is literally part of the sound of popular styles. They go together. So if you have to teach with a microphone, so you really kind of should have to be teaching with an actual microphone if you're teaching popular styles. Now, you might have been unsure about that because you yourself may not be a microphone singer, or you may not have a lot of experience, or you may have been a microphone singer except you just walked up and somebody handed you one, so you've never owned your own thing. This download gives you the components for a simple, small, awesome little setup that literally anyone can use. Any voice teacher can afford. It's really affordable. In fact, I just looked up the monitor, and it was, when I made this thing, it was $100 and some, and now it's $79 on sale. So inexpensive, it's mind-boggling. So, and you can take it on your gigs. This is a setup very similar to what I have that I used to bring on gigs with me. So, if you want that, put microphone singular in the comments, and the Neurovocal bot will send you the link to that landing page. Now, just FYI, if you are on my landing page, let's try that again. If you are on my mailing list, you're going to get today's broadcast as an email in your inbox, including the exercises that I'm going to go through today. If I have enough voice left at the end of this, I realize that I put these exercises at the end of talking for 20 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see how I do with that. Okay, so before I get to the sciencey part today, I just want to share a little bit of smartness with you guys. A couple of quotes, one that I saw by Matt Edwards and one that was sent to me. So there was a post where somebody had asked about using the word legit to mean classical. And it was a really good discussion. People had a lot of interesting viewpoints on it. And Matt Edwards pointed out that, this is a quote from him, "We need to rethink a lot, including the word legit. If anything is legit, it's the singing of indigenous people without training. Those are voices whose roots can be traced back to the beginning of civilization." Actually, before civilization, but we won't pick. So, of course, there's a larger point in this, but apropos of my theme today, Matt is pointing out that people have been singing with straight tone since the dawn of man. On a more contemporary note, pop pedagogy pioneer and all-around awesome musician Elizabeth Howard responded to my email this morning by pointing out that straight tone, now this is her quote, "Straight tone is essential in CCM, recording studios, blending with other singers in duos and small groups, and choral music in all genres." She says, think Palestrina, think Schoenberg, think Jewish Elia. The sign on the door, she said, "Sign on door to these styles, no vibrato allowed." So this is the thing. It's not a new thing. That's why I was kind of surprised, actually, when I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, wait, people are still talking about this? Because of what Elizabeth said. It's kind of, I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate both of these points, and I appreciate these people for sharing. And now we're going to talk straight tone. We're going to get a little sciencey. Excuse me just a second. February in Chicago. It's so dry here. All right. What it is. I am not going to get super specific here. If you want super specific, there is plenty to be had. But in the interest of making this not so long, vibrato or lack of vibrato is going to occur based on a combination of air pressure dynamics and bioelectric muscle stimulation. In a really basic sense, the way we get our vocal folds to make sound is that the strong thyroarytenoid, I made pictures for this, hold on. There they are. The strong thyroarytenoid or TA muscles, which are the ones closer to me, those try to stay closed over our windpipe while we push air past them, causing them to open and close in an oscillating pattern. Meantime, the cricothyroid or CT muscle, which is the one farther away from me, it's the green bit. It's not green in real life, but it shows up nicely. The CT muscle contracts to create a very specific tension of the TA muscles that result in a very specific pitch. Now here's the thing. The way that muscles work is that they contract based on bioelectric stimulation from the nerves that come in contact with them. In this case, the superior and recurrent laryngeal nerves, doesn't matter, nerves. These itty-bitty electric currents don't just send a single jolt. Oh, hi, Stephen. So these little tiny currents don't just send one jolt like in cartoons. They send those bioelectric jolts by oscillating impulses, typically 4 to 7 impulses per second. So your muscle gets jolt, 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 jolt 4 to 7 times per second, which is pretty fast. So if you are flexing a muscle, so let's say you pick up something heavy and you're flexing a muscle, what's actually happening is that the muscle is very quickly flexing and then relaxing, because it only flexes when it's getting the jolt, right? So then it relaxes after that. And it's so fast that you can't feel it. You just experience that as a flexed muscle, that you're just holding it still. But with our little bitty voice muscles, those itty bitty little muscles, you can actually hear those jolts. You can hear that happening. You don't always, but you can. And it's part of what makes vibrato. And if you want, it's part of what makes vibrato. It is also part of straight tone, which I'm going to get to in a minute. You want to make a sound. So your brain sends these electrical impulses via the laryngeal nerves to the muscles of the larynx. The muscle gets a jolt and it contracts. The jolt passes and it relaxes. When the muscle is receiving those impulses, when the muscle that is, thank you for the heart, when the muscle that is receiving those impulses is the cricothyroid, then you will hear the impulse as pitch and the lack of impulse as something slightly lower than the pitch. So vibrato, right? I just described vibrato. These jolts happen about 5 to 6 times a second usually. You'll hear it when they happen at that level, you will hear that as vibrato. If they happen faster than 7 times a second, either because it is your intention or because it is your habit, then you will hear that phonation as having a straight tone. Cool, right? It's a little bit of an illusion, an aural illusion. Again, Steven says, I have to pull this down. Oh, where? Oh, there we go. Okay, Steven says, I'm so here for the science. So This is very like skimming over the surface science, though, Stephen, I have to tell you. You can find more of this online. Although, I have to tell you, surprisingly little. I was able to find surprisingly little. Maybe if I worked at a university, I'd find more. This is a very basic description. And there are smarter people than me, Lord knows, who have described this process in a much more specific and accurate way than I have here. I only have a few minutes, let's be honest, but I wanted to give you an idea of what this is about. So the other piece of making straight tone has to do with either slightly increased subglottal pressure or, which you all have experienced, and I'm going to describe it to you in a minute, or an incomplete adduction, meaning the vocal folds aren't quite coming together and then you hear the air escaping. So you hear that in pop singing all the time. And I'm not sure, but from what I've been reading this week, it seems like those little things, that subglottal pressure issue, is what makes certain people freak out a little bit about that. So I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is. Anyway, straight tone is not in and of itself dangerous or damaging. There are literally thousands of successful singers of microphone music who are living examples of this right this very minute. In my experience of teaching pop for, over 30 years, people who are making an unhealthy straight tone are just making an unhealthy tone in general. Unhealthy tones. Unhealthy tones can present as a tight or compressed sound or a large or uneven vibrato. I mean, you guys have heard it. I'm preaching to the choir, right? You know what an unhealthy tone sounds like. It's not that singing with a straight tone gave this singer an unhealthy sound. It's that they have an unhealthy sound and they also sing with straight tone. I think you know what I'm talking about. Or they have an unhealthy tone and they don't sing with straight tone, right? You guys have had the people who have an unhealthy tone and vibrato, or maybe too much vibrato. Thank you. I'm getting a little amen from Stephen here. Thank you, Stephen. Maureen, hello, Maureen. Good to see you. Oh, I got an amen from Maureen too. I love this. This is so cute. I have an emoji amen. So yes, unhealthy tone is unhealthy tone. You guys, you have to remember that in popular styles, vibrato is all over the place, right? People use vibrato lots and lots in popular styles, but it is used as an embellishment. It is something to color the tone. It isn't the foundation. It is optional. And the manner of vibrato is not prescribed. The singer can do what they want in popular styles. If your student who sings with a straight tone wants to develop vibrato, right on. Your job is to help them develop that ability to add vibrato as a tonal color or embellishment. But they should not add vibrato to all their sustained notes. If your student does not want to sing with vibrato, then you can help them get a nice, easy, healthy, straight tone. Honestly. And by the way, if you have students who are north of 65, anyone? Oh, Rita's here. Hey, Rita. If you have students who are north of 65, anyone? You want to help them develop their straight tone, because for those of us who are a little bit older, moving your placement forward and developing a straight tone is the best kind of vocal facelift you're going to get. Really. That's what makes older people sound older, and they don't like the sound any more than anyone else does. They like it less. So that having their placement sitting far back and having a big old vibrato, that makes people sound old and they don't like it. Yes, thank you, Elspeth. It's all about giving them the tools to sing the way they want and need, because we are helping artists, right? Thank you, Elspeth. And yes, and Elspeth, you're getting hearts for that because, yeah, I would give you a heart, except I don't know how right now. So, I mean, the voice facelift. Okay, I pulled out a few names here. I just went on and I put in popular singers over 70. And the names I got: Elton John, Mick Jagger, Stevie Wonder, Cyndi Lauper. They're all in their 70s, you guys. And they have all sung a ton. And they all started their careers in vocally really punishing situations where they have to sing night after night. Okay, maybe not Elton John, but the rest of them did, where they had to sing night after night after night, and they still sound great. So I wrote down a lot of the quotes about straight tone. Okay, here's my little, I'm going to admit, I was being a little bit petty. I wrote down a lot of the quotes about how straight tone singing is really awfully terribly bad for your voice. And I was going to share, I was going to go, listen to this, you guys. But I decided not to. I'm not going to wallow around in that. No, I'm going to take the higher ground. But I did want to tell you there was one guy who called straight tone a fringe technique. Just sit with that for a second. My friends, well over 90% of the vocal music that is being listened to right now at this moment around the world is being sung with straight tone. I mean, okay, I'm done. It's not an anomaly. My point is, it's not an anomaly. It is the default of an overwhelming majority of working singers. Okay, this is in the blog post that I will send you if you're on my mailing list. And if you're not yet on my list, you can go to my website and sign up for my mailing list. This is a progression of exercises for healthy, supported straight tone. Wait. Sorry. Thank you. This is Rita. Fringe? That's how I felt too, Rita. You would be surprised. Go on the interweb and look it up. You will see so much about how straight tone is gonna, ruin your voice. It's just hilarious. Sorry, not hilarious. It's not funny. All right. So these are some exercises you can do that I'm kind of worried about demonstrating right now, honestly. After all the talking I've done this morning, I feel a little bit vocally tired. You will be able to hear in these exercises whether or not your student is making a nice balanced tone. So this is them, this is you. Also, these are in no particular order. You don't have to use them all. These are just some ideas. You probably maybe already are doing some of these. I'm sure Rita is because she teaches pop people. But I just want to put them out there in case there's something that is helpful to you. Here's the first one. Now, I want to make you aware. All of these start with the word intention. So intention's a big deal. And they need to have the intention for a straight tone because that is what will provide this much extra subglottal pressure that will help them support that straight tone. Now, the first one is intention plus a semi-occluded vocal tract on an easy pitch. So I listed a bunch of them here. The hum, right? Humming, making sure your tongue is on the bottom of your mouth. A V, a Z. Actually, in the blog post I'm going to send, these are more specific. It goes through it more better. But, or a bubbler, like what I have here. Or a Z sound. I didn't know how to write that, so I wrote ZCH. But it's Z. So I will use, I don't know. I'll use Z. Okay, I'm going to use Z. So you create this semi-occluded vocal tract. You are in a comfortable range. You have an intention for an easy pitch. Some people can go right to a sustained thing, zzz, and do that, and it's easy peasy, and you can hear that they're fine. Some people need to kind of get the feel for the attack and going zzz, 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 and then they can feel that. So when they do this exercise, I like this. If somebody doesn't have an understanding of straight tone and they don't know how to control their straight tone, this is really nice because it gives them the aural, like they can hear it and they can also feel it. And they can also feel it laryngally, and you can hear what they're doing. So you can give them feedback as they go along and make sure that they have that nice balanced sound. So they can do zzz, they can do right? And then you can move them through some pitches. So that's one, easy peasy. Number two, then same concept, same idea, but we move it to some nice bright vowels, E and oo. Same idea. And again, intention's everything. Thanks for the thumbs up. And by the way, I'm doing pretty okay time-wise if you guys want to throw in an exercise that you have for this. So E and oo. So same deal. And if they can't start with a coordinated attack, if they can't who, then you can give them the little H at the front, the little fricative, who, like be a little owl, who. Oh, you guys, if I held this out, actually, let me try an E, it might be brighter. You can hear the little, the little impulses. I'm going to hold a straight tone. I'm going to try to do it and see if you can hear the impulses. Can you hear that? Isn't that cool? Do it yourself at home. You can feel it. It's kind of cool. So you can do the same thing with E's and Oo's. And you can also do, so this is a little trick that I have for people who have a straight tone and don't have a vibrato, but want a vibrato. I give them a little dial, an mime dial or a thing, lipstick. And I have them, I say, hold out that straight tone that we just did, that's nice and healthy. You can feel it in your face, you can hear it, the voice teacher can hear it. We all know that it's a nice balanced sound. And what you're going to do is, without changing the pitch at all, you're going to diminish your volume 1/4 of 1 notch on your volume knob. Okay? So here you are, you're holding it out, you go, E. So when they diminish their volume without diminishing their pitch at all, then that little extra bump of subglottal pressure that gave them the straight tone relaxes, and then their vibrato pops into the sound. And now a lot of times they can't feel it, but they can hear it. And it's really fun. It's actually really fun. People kind of freak out about it if they've been struggling with trying to get vibrato. Maureen says, okay, I'm gonna pull Maureen's comment down because I like this. So she says, I love the idea of thinking about these impulses during the straight tone. There's movement in everything, even perceived stillness. Thank you. Right? I love that. Oh, Kate is here. She's hopping on. Hi, Kate. Kate Fraser-Neely. I bet Kate has some great straight tone exercises. Yeah, actually, Kate, I was just talking about how straight tone and moving placement a little bit forward can make older voices sound younger. I'm working with 2 older singers right now, and we are having a great time with that right now. So, and then the last exercise that I wanted to throw out there is exactly the same, but it's harder because it has these rounder, warmer vowels of EH, right? Or ah. And it's going to make the student much more aware of support in their tone. And it's going to give, well, for you, it'll be a cakewalk. For you, it'll be easy. So here's our student. It's And as you know, it's a little bit harder to have that coordinated attack on that ah vowel, right? So if they can't start with the coordinated attack, then start them with a little glottal fricative. Start them with a little H in the front. And then you can work toward the coordinated attack. So you're saying ha, ha, ha. Now, if you want to, if you feel that they're getting tense because they're afraid of how long it's going to be, give them a count. Like just say this is for 2 counts, and then bump them up to 3, or so that they are able to give it the breath energy that will allow them to stay relaxed. And again, this one works really well with my surprise vibrato thing too. So here they are. So you're working on your vibrato with your student, and we're going to do this exercise. And so you give them their little handle, their little lipstick or whatever. Doesn't have to be lipstick, you guys. It can be anything. It can be mime, but I find it actually holding something helps. And you say, so you're holding out your straight tone, and then we're going to just go boop, and we're going to turn the volume down just a teeny tiny bit. And that just releases a little bit of subglottal pressure and invites that nice flow and the vibrato. So you're saying, ah. So that was a little harder because I was too low, but you heard it anyway. So that helps, and that's a really nice exercise too. So I want to just check and make sure see if anybody's sharing any exercises with me. I'm going to sign up for your blog right now, says Quasi. Great. I'm glad to hear that. Because Quasi says, I'm going to sign up for your blog right now. These warm-ups are new to me. Oh, good. Okay. So these are, again, I'm just going to wrap this up real quick. These warm-ups that I just talked about, they can be warm-ups. They can be intentional exercises for people who are working on controlling their straight tone, or having a more relaxed and balanced straight tone. They can also be for people who are working on learning how to introduce vibrato to their sound, because those of us who teach pop often have that situation happening where somebody has only straight tone, and they want a little bit of vibrato to warm things up. So they do want that. Anyway, so again, if you want the download for your studio mic setup, put microphone in the chat. Do I have that still? Let's see. Anyway, I don't think I do. Do I? There it is. Okay. So if you want that, put microphone in the comments, and the Neurovocal bot will send you to that download page. And that will also sign you up for my email, which then I will send out the blog later this week with all of what I talked about today. Okay. Oh, wait, we can't go because I wait just before I go because Kate said something, and Kate always says smart stuff. So we have to share Kate's thing. Okay. Regarding the idea of movement in the perceived stillness, I'm glad we're talking about this, people. My main classical teacher also sang straight tone occasionally as the boy soloist at the Church of the Epiphany, where Trump held up the Bible, always advocating keeping a sense of movement in the laryngeal notch. Yes, movement. Yes, because we're singers and our art form is about movement. So we're always moving. I'm Meredith Colby, author, teacher, animal lover, speaker. Thank you so much for being here with me today. This was a really good discussion. I really appreciate all of your smartness, and thank you so much. Have a good week. Stay safe. Be well, and I hope you'll join me next week. Bye.